Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Today I want to talk about NM Clanboss. I've actually just ran one. I actually did a recording where I fully ran a Clanboss key on Nightmare. And the reason why I'm recutting this in it, and I'm going to cut in a sped up version of the actual Clanboss fight, is because frankly, it was 25 minutes and I hadn't finished. So I looked at the time and went, you are ridiculous. You talk too much. Let's get to the meat of it. But first I'm going to show you what I did and what we were about here. I ran the Clanboss and this is a first run. This is the first time I'd actually tried this comp on Nightmare Clanboss. Ooh, we're down to 20. And I'm actually ecstatic with the results I got. This is not even min-maxed yet to be able to get the most damage out of my poisoner. I got 33 million for my first key using this comp here. And what you'll see about this composition, which absolutely makes me giddy just thinking about this, is that I have Rowan in there as my poisoner. Now, I wanted to do this because my Occult Brawler is tuned to Ultra Nightmare Unkillable. He does not have lifesteal gear, and it would be way too much. Plus, I have a cold affinity boss right now for Nightmare, so the last thing I want to do is have to put a weak affinity poisoner, as you see Taya did, and try to run that. Now, Taya's got a very similar comp to mine, but you can see where absolutely it astonished me. I do need to run it a few more times. I think I hit lightning in a bottle. You'll see on the run, the absolute Bulwark is the star of the run. But Rowan holds her own and does some amazing damage. So let's just insert that in right about here. And then when we come back to this part of the stream, I'll talk about what I did and what my champions are and how I achieve that damage and the sort of things you can do when you're progressing into Nightmare and you're trying to reduce the number of keys. All right, hit it. So there's a few things to note on this comp that we want to talk about here. First of all, that Occult, without Occult Brawler, Rowan is going to be my poisoner. I put her near the end of the rotation. I have Bulwark first as my team leader, and that is because he's got a 17% defense aura, and that defense aura is absolutely critical, or not critical, but it has that bonus of survivability as well as defense. The other thing is I started out manually, and it's because they messed up Rosin, and for some reason now Rosin likes going with his bog down first, which does absolutely nothing against Clanboss, and it's frustrating. But at least that way I can set it. I can set her down to begin with. I watch this thing here. Bulwark, when I talk about Bulwark being the absolute champ, is look at the extension already. He's already got those poisons extended. She landed them. He's got them extended 3, plus that HP burn. And as far as I remember, they do not go down. So I'm going to speed this up, and then I'll meet you back at the end. One other thing I do want to mention before I start speeding this up is when you're doing your order of where you want your champions to be, the one right after the leader should always be your attack down champion. That gives him more opportunities. Attack down is the most important thing for your survivability. And the longer you survive, the better you're going to do against a clan boss. So always put that one as your second hit. So in my particular one, I've got Bulwark as my lead. I've got Jareg as my second. I've got my third as Rosin because he doesn't have anything on his A1 to affect it either way. And then I've got Rowan for her poisons, and finally Skull Crusher to hopefully not land that heal reduction or that heal debuff, which he landed anyway. No big deal. It's there forever, but whatever. So just keep that in mind when you're building your comp and your team, and I'll meet you on the other side. Alright, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little sped up view. I don't know, I probably put some really neat I haven't actually done that part yet, other than I've actually run it. So hopefully I'll pick some really good music for you guys. Anyway, so how did I do this? How did I achieve 32 million? Now, that's not, I mean, obviously there's guys that can one key it. I'm not saying this is an amazing event of mythical proportions, but what I want you to think about is, for a team that you just put together, this is the starting comp, and this is how you can progress on keys. Now, when you first get to Nightmare, you're probably using 4 or even 5 keys, but as you progress your champions and your understanding of how to put together your team, you're going to get better and better results. Now, the first thing I did, and this is just understanding basics of champions, is that you need to know which champions to use. Now, I've already pulled them out of the vault so we can take a look at them. Most of my champions I keep in the vault once I'm done kind of screwing around with them. I pull them out when I'm using them. That way I can maximize my food space that I can use these, and I don't have to deal with all that in and out of the vault. Anyway, so we have Rowan here. She's not even 60 yet. I haven't finished. Her gear's not even mid-maxed. She doesn't have enough defense. I want that defense. At least, I know she's an attack champion, but at least if I can get that to 3k defense and about, over 30k health, I think that'll make me feel a little bit better about the run. She is faster than she needs to be, but it only really affects the first round when she hits before my defense down. And then she's got good crit. And I do want to build up her crit damage, and her debuff accuracy for Nightmare is perfectly okay. If I wanted to try her in Ultra Nightmare, I don't know if she would do well enough, but we will increase that. So Rowan is a pretty standard mastery build. I do build her down the support tree to help her accuracy, right? We want that plus 10% accuracy. The champion has no skills on cooldown, so especially on that first hit where we want to make sure we land, increase 20%. Each enemy alive, there's 1 enemy, so I get 4 accuracy out of that. And this is more for faction wars and arena and those sort of things. But down here, you can look at them all yourself. The big thing is to get her to War Master so that she can heal herself. The other big thing that you need to remember is that you need them in lifesteal gear. When you run Unkillable, you pull off your lifesteal gear because you don't need them to heal, and you just run them in the best possible. You min-max their gear as best as possible. But in this scenario, and I haven't min-maxed her yet, but I'll show you what I mean by min-max in a minute when we talk about someone like Rosin, who I believe I've got pretty close, and even Bulwark, who I have a few more things I'm tweaking. But and what I mean by min-max is just getting these numbers to as best as humanly possible, right? Would I like her to have more attack? Yes. Would I like to have more defense? Definitely. How do you do that? Well, you do things like increase her accuracy on these stats so you don't have to run an accuracy banner, which I've done. So what I'm using is an attack banner here, but if I want to get her HP or defense, I can easily sub that out with the defense banner or the HP banner, and that'll give her the extra health or extra defense that she needs. The 6 speed is okay for me. The main thing I wanted here is, I got her a 255 attack plus 11%, a little extra health. So this was a good banner to put on her. I don't have a whole lot of banners right now. I did a full cleanse and purge of my accessories and threw away anything that I didn't absolutely love, and so I need to do some more spider farming. But so that's the first step you want to do, is let's try to remove. First step, you want to progress in Nightmare to Ultra Nightmare with the same team, is try to remove your accuracy banners for primary stat. What that's going to do is improve your attack, especially her, because she also hits off of speed, but because you're speed tuned to counterattack, you can't improve that anymore. But you want to get these abilities that hit off of her attack to hit as hard as possible. The other thing is survivability. You're typically at the Nightmare level, especially at the Ultra Nightmare level, you're aiming for 4k defense and probably 40k health. Now, not every champion even has that ability, especially for attack champions, but that's a good kind of roundabout way, and then you just keep progressing as you get gear. Obviously, I still have health to play here. I still have lots of health room here. I still have a lot of defense here. Notice that she's using a defense. If I wasn't using her in this scenario, I probably would have her in an HP or in a attack chest, but because she's in a Clanboss team right now, I use her with the defense. Also, it has some nice accuracy pieces that I was able to remove that, and a little attack. One of the few times that defense and attack on the same one, and I'm not cursing it out, because for her it actually works out. So let's talk about, that's how I built her. Now let's talk about min-max. And we're going to show two things. First of all, Rosin, I'm not done. He's still using accuracy here. The gear that I have him in is not tuned to be able to take accuracy out because I was focusing other stats. Now, I think he's pretty good. I think he can always get better, but I have him above 40k health and above 4,000 defense. That's where I want him to be. He's also speed tuned, and he's got the accuracy I need. Now, my next step with him is to improve his crit rate so that he hits harder, and then if I can somehow squeeze it out is to get his crit damage. Now that requires a lot of shifting and changing and figuring out what to do, but that's kind of my ultimate goal. I do have him on defense because I don't have a really high crit rate on him. I did land double crit damage, so maybe if we can, we'll find a way to do it. But you know, I can probably sacrifice this HP for crit rate gloves. I'm a little hesitant to do it, but at least we can give it a try and maybe see, because that's 8,600. So I would need crit rate gloves with a double HP roll. I think would be the only way I'd be comfortable. I don't know if I have it. Say crit rate, if one of these substats was a double or a triple HP roll, then I would give that a go, because again it's just tweaking, min-maxing, right? Obviously I can't do this because I've got speed there, and it's a speed glove, so I'm not going to do that today. But that's what we talk about min-maxing. Now, the second thing I did on this champion, and this is the next step in your progression through Nightmare and getting more damage, is drop the speed. Dropping speed boots is probably the first and most impactful way that you can increase your damage. The boots you want to use is whatever your primary attack is. If you can increase your primary attack stat by 60%, in this case it's his defense, and to boot I also got a nice little triple roll on accuracy for him. If you can get that sort of thing, now guess what? If you can get the speed going with the other abilities and you have that defense, now he's going to hit harder, he's going to be hit for less, he's going to last longer, he's going to do more damage. Bar none, this is probably, in my opinion, the first and most critical way to improve his damage, is by giving him primary stat boots percentage over speed boots. And that, to do that, you have to have speed rolls on the rest of your gear. It's not easy to do, but you know, you can do it if you get like a beautiful 18 speed on his chest, which is also a defense chest. You know, getting that double speed roll on his banner, which is the other reason why I haven't tried to swap out this banner yet for anything else, is I have to find that 78. Also, I'm only level 7 on my Great Hall, so that's 15 extra accuracy that I still need to build up for. But that's going to be, and if you look at my team now, and this is something I've done fairly recently, is they should all be, now he's still, like I said, I still have to build that out, but all of them are going to be in defense boots now, right? Again, can I find a 6-star boot that's lifesteal, or can I add a lifesteal over here? That is the next level of progression. Now, I haven't done it yet for her because I haven't started min-maxing her. I just wanted to get her in gear that would be able to take the run. So I have a lot of room on Rowan to grow, either with attack boots or maybe HP boots or defense boots, whatever makes the most sense. Probably because of her low health, I'd probably go HP boots, because 16 isn't a bad ability. So if I had 6-star, 60% extra health, that would probably go a long way. I think defense will be a little less because of that. I probably want to switch something like this to a defense, so it's giving me that primary flat, which is on defense, which is going to be a little bit more worthwhile to me, getting that HP on percentage on such a low modifier as opposed to a higher modifier HP. But I can play around, we can see what works, right? Where's my last one? I think Rosin, Steel Skull, Bulwark. Who am I missing? Jareg. Did I not pull him out of the... Am I losing my mind here? I deleted him. Who needs him anymore? He's still in the vault. Jareg goes fooling around again. Have him in defense boots. He is an HP hero. He does use attack as his modifier, but I needed him to survive, and so I chose defense boots. His defense was really low. Now it's at 2,500 off of 1,000 modifier. This is one of those ones, like, attack a better option? Probably. I probably could run with attack. I wouldn't be adverse to trying it out, but these are pretty good boots with a 2 speed on them, so maybe bring them over here and bring I don't know, bring attack gloves here. Try something different, right? Get his crit rate up. Different things we can do. But that was that first step again, is deciding. In this particular case, it was his survivability. He is taking shared damage. And, oh man, a 6-star accuracy banner. I got 11% HP and defense on it. I can't see this going anywhere anytime soon, but you never know, right? His accuracy is 218 for Ultra Nightmare. I do want it to be a little higher. So that's the team, and that's the basics of what I'm doing. The last thing I want to talk about is masteries. Now, I actually haven't changed his masteries yet. He's my next to go, but I'll show you on Rosin where the change happens. And this change, going from support to defense, is only possible when you have a Great Hall that's leveled up and you have some end level gear that can build up your accuracy without going down the support tree. Now, I do lose the buff extension on Rosin. I do lose especially these two here, which is that extra % chance of landing and the extending the duration by 1 turn. But especially for my team that I already have a Bulwark who's potentially extending buffs, I don't think that's the most important thing for me. For me, it's doing damage and mitigating damage, and that's exactly what the defense tree is here. I do use them in other areas, and I do have to get here. Now, that's 2 things. If I was going to War Master, like I do with Jareg, I can instead don't go with this one because I don't have to go to Giant Slayer, so I don't need to get Kill Streak. The reason why is these 2 abilities here. Now, I'll talk about the other abilities and some of the changes I would make if I was going to re-roll them. I think it's going to cost me. Yeah, I can't do the reset. I've used all my gems up on pulling shards, and I'm not spending a lot of money right now on the game, so we're just gonna live with our low number. I got my daily gems from I have the monthly pack, and I spent it on turns so I could get Rowan up to be able to run the run. So Retribution here has a 50% chance to counterattack when the champion loses 25% of their max HP or more from a single enemy skill. Now, as you get later and progress later into the Clanboss fight, this is going to proc more often, and that's going to give you more chances to hit, which is going to give you more damage. This is especially true for Unkillable, where all the time your champions got health from, in my case, from Rushguard, from Santa, from his heal, and then he loses all his health when he gets hit. So that's definitely for me. The other one, if I could redo this, I don't know if there's a way I could really do it to get what I want, because I need Giant Slayer, is this one right here, which has a 20% chance to counterattack an enemy when they apply a stun, sleep, or freeze. And in the case, obviously, the Clanboss, that's the stun. So it's not a lot, but I tell you, every little bit helps. And that's a 1 in 5 chance. That's every 15 turns on average, because he stuns every 3rd round. Take it. Take all the damage you can. It's all about gaining that damage. And the other thing is, typically, and I'll probably at some point redo him, to take this one right here, which is decreases the damage by 5% on AoE attacks. Definitely useful. This one here is, if he's the one that's getting frozen, especially when he's weak affinity, that mitigates the damage by 10% when he's under that stun, which is good. This here is just a 30% chance of putting a block debuff on. Doesn't happen all the time, but this is more for arena. The other thing is reduces the damage this champion receives from a specific enemy by 0.75 with each hit taken up to 6%. So over time, this is going to increase his defensive ability or reduce the damage that the Clanboss is doing on him. So going from support to defensive tree is the next step, in my opinion, on how to eke out that extra damage and try to min-max the damage you're receiving on the Clanboss. This is especially important in Ultra Nightmare, where you're trying to eke out as much damage as possible to get to your 4 or 3 or 2 key on that, but it's definitely going to start happening in Nightmare, which is why I've started doing it for my Nightmare champions. Now, as you can see, I haven't done it for him. I have done it for Skull Crusher, and I've done it for Bulwark. I will not do that ability for my Poisoner, because I want that Poisoner to have every possible chance to land his poisons and to increase the duration of his poisons. That's tier 1 important for me. So even my Occult Brawler, will let me show. Yeah, it will if I click on it, right? Where are you? Even my Occult Brawler, I still have him on the support tree, but all the rest of my Ultra Nightmare team and my Nightmare team is 100% being moved over to this. Obviously, I just have to change, who was it? Jareg. I probably was a little bit worried about his attack down because it is only a 50% chance on a 1-turn swing. but honestly, I think I'll be okay if I use that instead. So there's the team. That's how I use it. You saw how it ran in the Clanboss. Let me know what you think. Are there any questions you might have? Are you where might I be wrong? Where might I be right? Is there anything you need further explanation? Please let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see further videos from me. I am going to do a series on Nightmare Clanboss, including other champions. I'm going to use Luthea. I'm going to use Occult Brawler. I'm going to switch him into lifesteal gear. That's going to cost me silver, but I'll do it for you guys. I'm going to try other champions. I don't have a Kale. Strangely enough, I don't have a Kale, so I can't try him. But we're going to try different things, and I'm also still working on my Ultra Nightmare Unkillable 2.0, which I hopefully will have out at some point, ready in preparation for the big nerf that's coming down. So I want to thank you all for going. I know it's probably 18 minutes now, so we're probably looking at a 25-minute video. I apologize. I just wanted to make sure I got all the information that I had in my head to you guys. Keep in mind that your accuracy here is a good place to start going, and that'll help you move those boots over and help you move those banners over if possible. And I appreciate every one of you who is able to come and visit this and take a look at what's going on. I appreciate you, and keep it up. I enjoyed making the videos. I hope you enjoy watching them. Keep your stick on the ice. Don't eat yellow, and have a good night. Peace.